All right, ladies and gentlemen, time for another Coast to Coast collaboration video. This week's challenge is going to be about family. Our set card is going to be a one-word title. Our go, monochromatic color. That sounds fun. And the bonus, different sizes. All right, enjoy your challenge. Craft on.
Thank you for joining us in our Coast to Coast collaboration. Each month we will be using the Story by Stacy cards. These are the things that we must incorporate into our project this month, and a picture of my project. I'm going to be using all cardstocks. I'm going to use the Irresistibles in the plaid pattern, the espresso, toffee, shortbread, and French vanilla. I'm also using several thin cuts, the fancy doilies, layering flowers, and the circle shaker card thin cut. This one I'm only using to cut my photo into a perfect circle. As you can see, it worked really great. These are the pieces that I ended up choosing once I had cut out several ones and wanted to see what would play well with my project. I decided to go with a large doily, two small doilies, two of the large flowers with both an upper layer and a lower layer, a small flower, and several centers and stems. Here I am distressing the edges of the petals on the large flower with the toffee ink. You'll see that I have both a light toffee cardstock and a dark. I'm using both sides of the paper. Here I am using the mink ink to distress on the Irresistible cardstock. I found I really should have inked a solid piece, maybe 3 by 8 inches, and then cut out my stems from there, because trying to hold on to the stems and ink them without ripping them was a little difficult. Now we're on to scoring my 6 1/4 by 8 1/4 paper. I am scoring at a 1/2 inch, then I will scoot over 3/4 of an inch and score, then over another 1/2 inch, and just repeat that process across the page. Now I've turned my paper with the ridges up, and I'm going to take the mink ink and swipe it down the cardstock. In the beginning I also swipe upwards, but I find that that makes the paper buckle, so it's really best to go ahead and just swipe towards you. You can do this as much or as little as works well for you for what you're trying to create. I've taken a 6 by 8 canvas and applied adhesive around the edges of it, and now I just need to peel that protective film off and push my cardstock down onto that firmly. It overlapped a little bit. I did that on purpose, and so now I'm taking sandpaper and going around the edges to remove the excess, and then go back over the edges again with the ink. So here's all the things that I need to start my project, and I'm ready to start preparing it. I play with it a little bit, trying to decide where I want the doilies, and I finally decide I want the big doily more centered, and so I apply it with some liquid glue, making sure that I get it down nice and firmly, and then I'm going to cut this excess off in a little bit, and then I will make sure that I put some more adhesive along that edge. I'm going ahead and put my blessed one-word title on with some liquid glue. The liquid glue is great because it gives you some time to play with the positioning, and it dries clear so you don't have to worry about it showing. I'm making sure that it's all pressed firmly, and like I mentioned, I'm cutting that edge off and applying a little bit more glue just to make sure it's all nicely secure. I'm going to use our 3D foam tape for our shaker windows to pop my picture up, just so that it has a little bit more dimension and makes it, just a little more prominent. And then I'll peel that other layer off and position it. What's really nice is all those little squares, I'm going to be able to use some of those for popping up some of my flowers. So I'm going ahead and putting some liquid glue on the back of this flower and figuring out the lineup of the petals just perfect and pressing them on, and then using a piece of that tape to pop that flower up, layering it over my photo just slightly. And then I'm going to put some glue and put my center on, but I decided no, I want to pop it up, so I put a little piece of that 3D foam tape and then a little dot. And I decided I want my center a little darker, so I take the espresso cardstock center and darken it up with a little bit of espresso ink. I continue on with the leaves, playing with the placement of them, and the ones that I'm placing down here with this lower picture, I'm going to make sure that I only put glue on the back side of the leaves. It will not be going over the photo. Now I've got my second large photo flower on and playing with the leaves, and going to put the small flower on the bottom. This one was done with the cocoa cards, or not cocoa, espresso cardstock. And then I'm playing with what kind of center I want, and I decided I want to pop it up, and I'm going to ink that center up also. But I decide after I put it down that that just makes two centers there at the bottom that are dark, and so I switch out that top one and put the dark one on top and bring that shortbread center down to the bottom small flower. So now I'm looking at it, deciding how I want to add some more leaves in, and I decide to cut some apart and place them on there. Just playing with the placement of it, and then I decide, okay, is that enough? No, I think I want one more leaf up there on that large flower, so I put a third flower up there and look at it and tilt it. You can see the dimension. I think that's looking really good.
Hey crafty friends, this is Dana, and I'm going to be doing the March card draw from the Story by Stacy story deck, and I've got everything out here, and this is for the Coast to Coast CTMH collaboration March challenge. So let's get started. I've got ready, set, go, and we'll do a bonus challenge. We'll start with the ready and work our way down to the bonus challenge. So I'm going to separate the cards here, and let's see, we'll just pull from the middle here. And the first one we have is blessings, and that talks about serendipity, miracles, karma, gratitude, counting your blessings and paying it forward. Our set card, let's see what we can come up with here. I'm going to pull kind of from the back. Map. So an infographic, a brochure, trails, menu, destination, historical, or something with your state or country perhaps. For our go card, separate these out, and let's pick here. One big photo, an all-time favorite, a self-portrait, heritage, school portrait, full page, nature background, or perhaps a family photo. Now keep in mind, these are simply suggestions. They're not anything that you have to stick to. Now for our bonus card, let's just go right here in the middle, and we're going to do super simple. Now we just did super simple in February, so I am going to put that back in the deck, and let's pull something else just to kind of keep it fun and doing something a little bit different each month. Not that we can't duplicate, but I hate to have to do something, you know, too many months back to back. So ink or paint. So here we've got splatter, brushed, smushing, spritz, painted, stamped. So those are some ideas for you for your jumping off point. Remember, we like to use the hashtag. So for March, we'll be using hashtag or pound sign C2C MAR for March, and then 23. So again, that's C2C MAR 23. So please share your work with us. We'd love to see what you can create with these Jumpstart cards, and we will see you soon. Thanks so much. Bye everybody.
So here are some close-up photos of the different portions of my project. This is that flower on the lower left hand corner. You can see the dimension. And then this is my blessed title with the upper flower. Again, you can see that dimension created and see the nice pattern with the irresistible cardstock. Here is a picture of my finished project. I really enjoyed doing this project and I hope you enjoyed my video. This is my first ever YouTube video. Please like, love, subscribe, and I hope you'll continue to check out my videos. Again, here's just a reminder of what we needed to incorporate in our project for this month. Monochromatic color, one word title, different size, and family.